I gotta get started on this. Turns out there's a heck of a lot more damage inside once I get in there. The plywood behind it is okay. The only problem is there's 2x4s up here that go straight across. Those are all rotted, and pretty much from there down, anything that's exposed is doing the same thing. So hopefully I can get away with just going across to about here and that way, because everything else over there looks okay. But from here to here is pretty much rotted out. Water's gotten in there bad and soaked it all through. I've got the parts that I need to fix that, so wish me luck. I'm gonna try to get this all off of there. Well, I got all of it ripped off the whole front. Well, not all of it. I got this little piece right here. I gotta strip that out, but I'm figuring out that all this is rotted. And this is actually where the floor is on the upstairs inside. And all that's rotted across there. I believe just inside of that, there's 2x4s or 2x6s that run all the way across to hold the floor. But then it's also sitting on top of this on the inside. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to rip that out. I'm thinking I'm gonna just go up to where I've cut there and cut those off there, and then put 2x6s laid flat in this way to build that up and then bring it down. That way I can reattach the floor, and then I'll put 2x4s back in place down here at the bottom all the way across, and then the filler blocks, I'll slide those in as well to get that whole thing. It'll probably end up being stronger. I may have to go pick up the 2x6s though before I can finish this out. Yeah, it's proven to be a little bit more than I was expecting, but I'd rather do this right, as close to right as possible before, instead of the wrong way and then the whole front just kind of falls apart again. So, all right, let me get to stripping again. All right, I got the bottom 2x4 kind of wedged out of there. I took this one out, that one, and that one. That takes me right to center. I don't want to take all this out right now. It just kind of bothers me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay this new piece in here. Then I'm going to do a 10-incher. That way it makes this stick out past that one 10 inches. And that way when I put the next one in, it'll go under this one and go the rest of the length down once I get all that ripped out. That way I can stair it, basically overlap and then go under that one and then tie them together. That way it's almost one uniform piece. I got one more, and then I need to rip the top out and then cut like an inch or two off of the 2x4s that are coming down right there. I'm going to cut about an inch or two off the bottom because they're kind of rotted and wet. And then on this center one, I'm going to double it up underneath that vent coming down. That way I've got 2 points at the center to attach the new piece of wood to once I get it on there. Oh yeah. So I don't know how much more of this I'm gonna be able to get done today, because I've had other things that I needed to run around and do all day today. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna try to get those first 2 pieces in, and then I'm gonna try to rip the rest of that out across on just the half, and then get this one side built. That way I can maybe start putting it back together and get things moving along to looking better and have everything in tighter. Okay, back to it. On further inspection, those top ones, they really didn't have a whole lot of rot to them. So I went ahead and just took a piece of 2x4, because I was looking at the way it was originally built. And that center section, that ladder section, is actually one piece that was squeezed in there and then nailed top and bottom. So I went ahead and put my bottom 2x4 8 foot here, which is actually slid in this way a little bit more. This top one is out a little bit more, so that'll help with a little bit of an overlap right there. But I went and put the other 2x4 up there, measure this 15.5 inches, allowing for 3.5 inches of top and bottom 2x4, and that leaves 12.5 inches, which is 12.5 inches from there to there, and then nailed them in from top and bottom. The first run from here to there, let's see, from there to there is 9 inches, and then there's 16 inches on center. That way everything matches up straight up and down. And that's what I made this ladder here. And it's just enough to be able to hammer it into there. It's not going to go in easy, but I'll be able to hammer it and slide it in, make it tight. And then once I get it to where I want it, there's going to be a gap from here to there, and I'll get another 2x4 that I can set in there, drop it in, and nail it in just to complete that run, and tie this bottom one together with the outside one. That way they will hold each other. So okay, I gotta climb up there and do this. Some of you probably saw this coming. Once I got it mashed up in there, I couldn't really beat it that way. So they're off just a hair. I mean, from where I'm standing, it's not bad. You builders might say, yes, that's bad, but that's just how it's going to be. I just got to finish all this over there, and I don't want to do it. I am tired. Well, it looks really good compared to what it did look like. Yeah. I've got an easier way of ripping all that out, so it might not take too long to get the second part of this done, but I'm out of 2x4s. That was the last of my 2x4s, so I have to go to the store and pick up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 more to finish the rest of that. All right, I went to Home Depot. You can't see them, can you? I got some more 2x4s in there. Anyway, I got the rest of this wood ripped out. It's just like everywhere down here. It's in pieces. So I got it ripped out. I've already measured my top piece going from there all the way across, and my bottom piece going off from there all the way to there, which the bottom one is 88 3/8, and the top one is 82.5. So I'll get those top and bottoms put on, and then I'll start making a ladder here. You see how I beat the shit out of that. So I'll end up making another ladder, beating it in, and then I can start measuring to cut the facing that goes on the front. And then I've already got the strips that go all the way across right here, so I can put those on there, and then I can caulk on top and the bottom and on the ends down here, so then that way it'll stay where it's supposed to stay, and hopefully not get any water next time. So all right, let me get these in there. There it is. I got the other ladder in, and then what I did right here was these two were separate, and they were able to wiggle like that. So I just put a board right there, and I 4-nailed it on both sides just to give it that durability, because otherwise this whole piece just kind of waves back and forth. And so this is what holds all that in place so it doesn't wobble and gives it its rigidity, or whatever you want to call it. So I am done for today. I'm going to pick this up bright and early in the morning and get the paneling measured, cut, laid in place, and then put the strip across and get the caulking in. That's the last thing to do. I'll do it in the morning. Good Sunday morning. I've got a couple hours left, and I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. I already went coffee, had my breakfast, had my blood pressure pills and my sugar pills, and or my high blood pressure. No, what is it? Diabetes. Yeah. Medicine. I'm out here already. I went ahead and cut this piece, which it's got an angle and down up there. I know a professional would have taken the edging off of this so they could lay it under, and I'm just gonna caulk the edge really good, and then I'll caulk the opening that'll be between this one and this one. I know they're two different colors, but I'm gonna end up painting the whole thing, so that's not gonna be a big deal once I get done with this. I've cut that piece, which had the angle, and then this piece, and then this piece. I want to get these three pieces up here before I do that last piece over there, so I can get the measurements just right on that piece. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take liquid nail and I'm going to go along all the edges and then across this one for the first piece, which is right about there, from there over. And I'll just liquid nail all this in. I'll put the piece up there, push it against it, and then tack it in with the nail gun and get it to where it'll hold and stay up there. And then I'll do the next piece and the next piece the same way as I go across. There we go, lining up pretty good. It'll look better once it's got that one piece going across right there to cover that whole gap. I got a 1x4 that'll cover that little crease all the way across. I just got this last little piece. I got to make my measurements. I know what it is from top to bottom, 26.5, but now I got to measure. I'll have to make measurements from here to here, and that will give me how far over it's go. And then I'm gonna measure from here to here, and that'll give me that measurement. And then there's a straight piece going straight up, so I'll measure straight up to there and make a mark there, and then measure from here across to make that whole little square. And what that'll do is that'll give me a mark right here for the angle cut up to this measurement. And then that way I can just lay that piece right in there, and it'll be flush and done. Of course, like I said, I'm putting liquid nail on all the wood, and then this big one I just swirl up and down on those two, and then make sure that it's all covered, and then one strip of liquid nail between the two, because they overlap onto each other. So then that way it holds it firm in between. You can actually see a little bit of the liquid nail coming out right there. So it's sealed all the way up. And then the final will be end up painting this to cover the whole thing. I've got 1 gallon of white primer right now. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to get to that today, but I'm at least gonna get the 2x4 all the way across, or the 1x4 all the way across. And then I've got some caulking that'll go on top to stop the water from getting in. That way it goes down, it hits that, it goes up and over, comes down, and then runs off on the bottom. No, I'm not perfect. So that one's off just a little bit right there in the middle, and this one's off a little bit right there in the middle, but I'm not complaining. At least it doesn't have a bunch of rot all inside of it, and it's gonna last probably another 20 years at least. It'll be the roof that's gonna be next that's gonna have to get done. See here, when they did this, they didn't put any kind of caulking. You can't even see any caulking right through there, through there, through there. They should have put caulking when they put these pieces together. And up on top of this, there's probably no caulking on top of that either, which that's going to allow the water to eventually get into that as well, if not already. I need to go make sure that it's not. So, all right, let me get this last piece cut, get that on, and then that strip all the way across. It is finished product. Like I said, I'm going to put a piece of trim. Actually, my next door neighbor suggested it, Tommy, to put a piece of trim right across the bottom. That way it'll make it straight with that one up there and actually finish the bottom looking nicer. I've got 2 more pieces of trim that I can use on the bottom, but I'll do that at a later date, maybe next weekend. And then I need to paint the whole front of this once I get done with that. So I'm really happy with the final product right here. I've got caulking that I put under and over on top and bottom of both of those, and filled in all the cracks and crevices on both sides to make sure that nothing can get into there. This is the type of liquid nail that I use to put behind everything to make it stick. And then this is the stuff that I used for the caulking on the cracks top and bottom. There was a guy that did this for a living in the store when I was looking for it, and he said this is the best stuff. It's not water based, it won't break down. I mean, it literally will make a good coating. This is what he told me. If you guys know otherwise, let me know. I still need to get a ladder way up here. I want to do caulking all the way around this to seal that in. But thank you for watching. I am running an hour-and-a-half behind schedule. I need to grab all my stuff and head out on the road. Sorry I didn't do an over-the-road video this last weekend, but I really need to get a dedicated camera for that. And until then, I may have to slow down on those as well, except especially the driving videos. I can't be doing those. If I had a dedicated camera, I could actually hold it and look around and whatnot. But with my phone, I have to mount it, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So here's some thumbs up for some home repairs, and that's all I was able to do this weekend. It took me a day and a half. And thumbs up. Thank you. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. More videos coming. And search for me on the internet, Earthscraper69. You'll find me on all different websites and whatnot. So later. Talk to you guys on the next video.